Welcome to Just a Few More Minutes podcast, where three veterans of the animation and video game industry talk about exactly that, animation and video games. I am one of your hosts, Jeff Gabor, who's redoing this intro because he peaked way too much and then screwed up his Skype, and then we had to...
And he's also really drunk.
Well, yeah, that probably contributed to me fucking it up pretty badly. So, let's get past... Oh, boy.
Oh dear.
And I'm Pete Paquette, by the way.
And then the other guy is...
Yeah, I'm Michael. Also Pete. God.
Okay. Pete, you were explaining about your weekend.
Yeah, I had an interesting fallout with somebody who is very influential on YouTube, and I won't say their name, and there's no record of it on Twitter anymore on our page. So,
I don't know about that.
No, I went through and deleted everything to make sure it was gone.
Oh, okay.
But basically what happened was my kids had their 11th birthday this past weekend.
Happy birthday, kids.
Yes, happy birthday to Emma and Landon. So I was we had a family party, and my son, for his birthday, my son and my daughter, we put together this nice PC desktop so they could play games and do homework and whatnot and stuff. So I made him a Steam account, and once he got Steam, it opened up this whole new world of PC gaming for him. And so he told me he wanted to buy this game called Party Panic, and I was like, okay, well, let's take a look at it and see. Because he had, in order to hook him up with a Steam account, I had to kind of put money into his wallet. So he had a little bit of money to spend, and so I looked at the trailer, and it looked safe enough. It didn't look like anything terrible or anything. And then he downloaded it, he bought it, he ordered it, and then I sat down with him, and I played it with him. It's like a 4-player multi-game or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it played a lot like an early access. Well, early access is putting it kindly. It was very broken and almost unplayable. Slippery controls, terrible hit detection, really poorly designed levels from like a look standpoint where, for instance, there's like this long stretch of really thin ice you got to walk across, and it's a 3D platformer. So things like the light being in very glaring, and everything's white, so you can't see where the edge of the cliffs are. Like really, really low end shit. You know what I mean? And the game cost $16 or something like that. And
oh wow!
And there was no demo for it. And I asked my son, I was like, where did you hear about this? And why did you want it so badly? And he told me, this guy he watched on YouTube. So I had a few beers at that point, and I decided that I was going to tweet this guy and ask him in more or so words, what the hell was he thinking? And
from which account?
From the JAFMM account. And that was actually a mistake on my part. If you use the Twitter on the mobile phone, it's very easy to switch accounts if you have more than one signed in. So I thought I was on my account, and I tweeted him, and I realized I wasn't, and then I couldn't like backpedal at that point. Anyway, so I knew for a fact that my son wasn't going to enjoy playing this game for much longer because it's a brand new game. Whenever you get a brand new game, you're always excited and having a good time. But with the amount of games I have in my household, for those who know me, it's not going to have any legs. So he basically just wasted his money on this thing. And I was pissed, you know. So I asked this guy, in more or so words, I could have been a lot more tactful about it. And that's my only regret, I'd say, going forward. I said something to the effect of, this is one of the worst games I've ever played. I can't believe, like, my son is playing it because of you, and he bought it because of you, because he saw you playing it. How much did they pay you to push this shit? You know? And I called him a dumbass YouTuber. I people who know me, I can be a bit of an asshole, and I could be a little opinionated about things. And I'm not, like, I'm sorry that I did it that way. I looking back, I wish that I would have been a little more tactful in my approach. But again, I was a little drunk, and I apologize.
It's a pretty lose-lose situation that happened, yep.
Yeah. I mean, I don't... I guess in hindsight, I should have contacted the developer and asked them why the hell they'd put out a game that's so broken and not even call it a work in progress. So, anyway, I won't be tweeting YouTubers anymore. I won't be tweeting... I probably will only be tweeting links. I'm not going to be tweeting opinions anymore.
Well, dudes, you please from a different account.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from, Pete, and I really want to be on your side, but it's like somewhat damaging to the brand of JAFMM at this point.
No, I know that.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to you guys for that. I know that.
Well, okay. Anyway, we have great plans for this podcast this year, right, guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's get into the good stuff.
I am actually quite excited. The one thing that, if any of those people, I'm sure they're shutting it off by now, if they're even listening. But we are three different people. We have various wide opinions, which is what makes this show really good. We are three veterans of the animation and video game industry. Pete, you've worked on many games.
Yes,
Michael and myself and you together have worked on many, many movies. Many. And not like itty-bitty ones. Like blockbuster type movies. So we have varied opinions about what the art form is, how to create it, the techniques behind it. Which is why I originally was attracted to doing this show. Like, Pete, you reached out to us a couple years ago. And it was like, yeah, I feel like we have something to offer in terms of like how this art is created. And it's fun to talk about. And if anything else, it's a good way to stay in contact with you, Pete, and stay in contact with Michael. Not that I'm not at work, but, you know, I feel like certainly our friendship has grown in the last few years because of this, so it's fun. So
yeah, absolutely.
I would say, you know, enjoy that part of the show, and this is our most anticipated movies and games that we're looking forward to in 2018.
Yes.
Our last episode 50. We talked about our favorite games and movies that we saw in 2017, and this is what we're looking forward to most. It's pretty awesome.
And it's actually probably one of my favorite episodes of the year that we do.
Yeah.
Is this one.
So much so we split it into 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we talk news at all, or are we going to just jump into this?
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should talk about the plans that we have for the podcast.
Oh yeah, good. That's great. That's right. Sorry.
No. Yep.
Michael, let's run it down.
All right. First of all 3 of us are going to start streaming a lot more, so we can have a little bit more unique video game like Let's Plays and content for the YouTube channel as well.
Yeah.
So
and that's already begun. That's pretty cool.
It has. All 3 of us have streamed at least once the past week. If you haven't found us, that's fine. We're still getting up and running, but I think the plan is each of us will try to stream once a week, so that'll be 3 streams each week.
Yeah. And it's interesting, too, because I think we're all streaming different platforms. Is that right?
Yes. But I think I'm going to switch around. Like, I was playing Fortnite for the first time last Friday night. But I would actually like, just as a like consistent thing to watch, my idea is to actually start playing Mega Man 3 and do a no-death run. So every Friday night, I'll try to go through the game and try to make it all the way through without dying. And we'll see how many months it'll take me to actually accomplish my goal.
Mega Man 3.
Mega Man 3. It's my favorite Mega Man. I freaking love it. I feel like I'm decently good at it, but can I beat it without dying? That's going to take some effort.
I'm going to watch the shit out of that because Mega Man 3 is my favorite Mega Man 2 as well. I'm really excited to see that. I'm streaming various games actually with my brother now on PC. We've been going through, and I have this untapped library of about 800 Steam games.
Sweet Jesus.
And in there is a bunch of like co-op stuff. So if either one of you ever get or Mikey, you have a PC.
Yep, I got Steam.
But if you guys ever jump on, I'm always getting keys. And I sometimes run into duplicates. So let me know.
Pete, do you have Crawl?
Yes, I do.
That is a game I've been wanting to play for a really long time, and I've never gotten a chance to touch it.
Yeah, the only unfortunate part about Crawl is that it's not online co-op.
Oh, really?
It's local co-op.
Ooh, that sucks.
Yeah. But I will say this about some of the PC games that I've played that were local co-op. Some of them are fantastic. Like Super Blood Hockey I've been playing with my son like crazy, and it's so much goddamn fun. Another one is Overcooked.
Oh,
and that's a great couch co-op game.
Overcooked is amazing.
I gotta play that more with somebody. I've played it a little bit with. I played a little bit with Mindy, right? I was playing with, and a little bit with you, Michael,
and Deb.
Oh yeah, Deb was playing it too. Yeah,
it's a perfect barometer of someone's relationship.
Yeah, if you can survive playing it with your significant other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is actually kind of. It's very intense, and there's a lot of yelling.
Yeah, there is.
But anyway, what I'm getting at is that what I was initially saying was that I got a ton of Steam games, and what I end up doing is I'll buy a key for a game that I might have for my brother. I send him the key, and we try it out. So like, we've been playing a lot of Helldivers. We've been playing this game called Tooth and Tail. We've been playing another game. We started another game last night called like Kingdom of Loot. So a lot of obscure PC titles is what I'll be streaming.
Well, cool. So it seems like we'll be spread out quite a bit. I am probably going to try to get like a streaming thing, like an Elgato or whatever, so I can start doing Steam stuff and whatever else I want to as well. Yeah. Okay, so as far as the podcast streaming, most of the streams will end up on YouTube, so you can watch them after the fact. We are going to try to do dedicated movie episodes and dedicated game episodes. I don't think we'll do it every time. Maybe not. I don't know. We haven't discussed it. But just in case there's the people that only like one subject and not the other, they can pick whatever the fuck they want to watch and listen to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you say dedicated movie episodes, are you talking about like reviews?
Potentially.
Reviews, and then alongside that is like if there's a specific guest that is leaning towards movies or video games, we can categorize it that way.
Yeah, and ideally, we don't have to do this, but like I told you guys this idea a while ago, and you seem to like it, but a movie episode could be called Just a Few More Frames, and then the video game episodes could be called Just a Few More Games.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh, that's kind of nice. It just rolls off the tongue, right?
There you go. Okay, what else are we doing? We're doing
we have a Facebook
more
page.
Interviews. We also have a Facebook page.
Yep.
That hopefully is back up to 5 stars now.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
No, it's fine.
It wouldn't... Yeah. I mean, at this point, so few people... How many people have liked it? 3?
We're past 100, which is better than the YouTube.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Can't people subscribe? Come on, we need I think we're seriously like 6 people away.
Maybe we should actually put that information on the Facebook page.
I'm pretty sure the last time I checked, we had 94 subscriptions, which granted is not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but you need 100, right?
We need 100, and I'm pretty sure we're at 82.
Okay.
Let me check right now. Fill the air.
Yeah, the other thing that we're going to be doing is the interviews.
Yeah.
We have I contacted a guy actually when was it? A couple weeks ago. I texted you guys about this, but I found this book about this guy on Amazon, Patrick Hickey, and he's
Brought to you by Subway.
So why Subway?
Because they dropped us.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, he's doing a book called The Minds Behind the Games, Interviews with Cult and Classic Video Game Developers, which you don't see very often these days as like an actual, like, physical book with like that kind of information in it. And so I looked him up on Facebook, and I actually just sent him a cold message saying like, hey, I'm really excited about your book. I want to, congratulations, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I didn't think anything of it. And he contacted me back and says, "Is this the Paquette that worked on Gladius and BioShock Infinite?" I'm like, how did you know that? And I guess he's like, he spends all his time on the database. I forget what it's called, but it's all like gaming and game developer database online somewhere, and he really knows his stuff.
Apparently, that's like Rain Man stuff.
Yeah, so I've become friends with him on Facebook, and we've been talking, and I asked him if he wanted to be on the show, and he was like completely flattered. I said, I can't guarantee it's gonna help any of your book sales. I said, but
definitely not.
It would be really cool to have you and talk about, how you went about doing this, and like how you got in touch with these people.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing if I can get, already confirmed is Wes Mandel, which would be
Nice.
cool. He did some motion capture for Revenge of the Sith. He did a bunch of animation at Blue Sky. He is right now he was animation supervisor on Book of Life. And let me see what else. He is now currently the sole previs animator for the next two Avatar movies.
That's insane.
So he's got quite a pedigree, so it'd be interesting to hear. He's working with James Cameron, so that's pretty cool. So I don't know how much he can talk about it, but that'd be pretty awesome to hear his story.
Yeah. And then, let's see, who do I have lined up? Nobody. You guys continue.
I also have my friend and former coworker from Irrational Games, Gwen Frey.
Right.
She went on with a couple other Irrational folks to create the company called the Molasses Flood, and put out the game game Flame in the Flood. So and they actually have a podcast that I've been listening to quite a bit, and it's
better than ours.
It's called the Dialogue Box. So if you're interested in learning about,
I like that name.
Really deep gaming dev stuff, it's really worth listening to.
All right.
Man, it was really hard to come up with a podcast name.
Yeah, it was.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
And I remember when we came up with ours, I was like, that just, when you put the words together, it doesn't make a cool acronym. No one will ever say JAFMM. Now that's all we fucking say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
JAFMM isn't too bad now that it's kind of like, we've used it and abused it a bit. JAFMM sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it's been what, 3? This is our 3rd year, so
it is.
Let's see.
Is there anything else we're talking about?
Well, we're testing video for these podcasts. So on YouTube, we might finally get to see our beautiful boy faces. And then there's the potential that we could be streaming them at some point too.
That would good. I almost had it hooked up and set up so I could just do a test run of it tonight, but no, botched that.
No.
That's all right, fellas.
And then maybe, just maybe, we might have a more consistent release schedule.
Yeah, I think I don't know if the streaming's going to get in the way of all that, but I guess we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah. All you dedicated listeners, Diego, stick with us while we figure all this shit out. We don't know what we're doing.
You gotta admit, from year one, our like quality of the sound and everything that we've got it down pretty good now. We've got it. It's working.
It is
working.
Well,
I mean, other than the fact that we lost the first 5 minutes of this show and had to start over. But
I mean, it would definitely be better if we were in person, obviously. But
yeah,
for what it is, it's pretty good. I think it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
All right. So, should we get into our stuff then?
So, you want to talk news
one other
real quick?
thing I really hope we can do this year.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I really want to do it. Is some movie commentaries. God, I've been wanting to do that for a couple years.
Like Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah, exactly. So you hit play on the podcast and watch the movie with us. Specifically, movies we've worked on, not just random movies.
Oh.
Right.
Oh yeah,
because I was like,
that'd be great.
We're not gonna have anything to say if we watch fucking Avatar together.
No. I know. I'm talking about like for Pete and I. Like I would really like to get Nick Bruno on board or somebody else that worked on Horton, and we can review or watch Horton together. I think that'd be really interesting. And Michael, you didn't work on the movie, but I feel like from the insight that you have from when you watched it originally, that brings its own perspective of not knowing, how it was done or whatever. Like, I just feel like, to me as a listener from outside, I would actually want to listen to a podcast like that.
Yeah. And it would make a fantastic YouTube video, I think, if we could get away with it. I don't know how we could do that.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
No. That's illegal.
Mm. But that would be cool.
Is it though if we recorded ourselves watching it?
No,
definitely not. As long as we don't have the audio or video of the movie.
Right.
Yes.
The wheels in the head are spinning.
But yes, do we want to move on to the actual show now?
Well, do you want to do news?
Yeah.
Or do you have an animation tip yet?
Oh yeah, he completely blew past that.
I did, like on the first recording of the first 5 minutes, I mentioned that I had one, and then I didn't, and then we were going to think about it, and then on this version, I didn't even mention it. All right, so at least let me give you this general tip.
Okay.
Listen to your supervisors, or at least are including your character leads, because I'm surprised how little people generally want your opinion.
That seems strange, but I guess I don't know.
Well, let me elaborate. So this came up well before I was a supervisor. I was talking to let me just name drop. I was talking to Glenn Keane about it because this was back when I was a character lead, and I was noticing a lot of people, like, you own this character all the way through pre-production. You come up with all the superposes, and you come up with all the expressions, and you live and breathe how it moves, and you do that for probably a year to 2 years, depending on how long you're on pre-production, and then the animation crew gets to it, and they may not, or often don't, ask your opinion, and you lose control over the character. So I was asking Glenn, I was like, is this a problem? Like, have you ever experienced this? And to give the global perspective, this is a industry-wide issue. He was saying it's way back in the day, like Beauty and the Beast and Little Mermaid. He's like, yeah. He's like, this is just what happens. The best animators come and ask you, and they're usually the ones that actually don't even need your input, but the best animators are constantly asking for feedback about how to make sure the character looks on model, and the animators that need the most help don't ask. So you want to be part of that group of animators that is constantly going to the character leads and your supervisors and asking, like, how can I be better? How can I make sure this character looks on model? How do I make it move like you intended it to move as the character lead? So these are things and qualities that you want to acquire and to get used to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I just don't know why people don't utilize them more, except for the fact of they're scared. They don't want to look bad to all you good animators out there.
It's
You know
so
what I'm
funny
saying?
because all the animators that ever like bug me too much is always the people that I want to work with the most, that I enjoy the most. I never go like, man, this guy won't leave me alone and he sucks. It's always, I like working with this guy because I feel like I'm molding this animator into being a better animator, or I feel like this person just took on that quality and that now they're a little bit better, and it you can see it grow by giving that input. And like Michael, you're working on these all these characters. Like you have several characters on this upcoming movie, and you've worked so hard on it. It would be such a shame if somehow that gets distorted by people not getting your input on them because you've been so specific with it. Like that would be such a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The interesting thing too about being scared, like I understand that, I totally do. However, the flip side of the coin and the reality of it is that you wouldn't be sitting there if you weren't considered a good animator. You know? So that's like internal toxic shit that can actually cripple you as time goes on. So if you find yourself feeling that way, you should really work hard to overcome it.
Yeah, that is a worthy tip of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Can we move on? I'm
Yeah,
really,
let's do some news.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You don't want to talk about these things? There's some pretty cool stuff that happened since our last show.
Yeah.
So, Hyperkin, the makers of the Retron 5, have made or have a prototype. They showed off a prototype called the Ultimate Game Boy, or Ultra Game Boy. Sorry. It's aluminum. It plays, I think, Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. It has a backlight. It has a NiCad battery, a rechargeable battery, and it's probably around the size of the Game Boy Pocket. It looks pretty cool. I don't know if it'll ever see the light of day since Nintendo recently filed a trademark for Game Boy, or re-upped their trademark for Game Boy. But it was interesting nonetheless.
Do you think they re-upped their thing for Game Boy to make a Game Boy Mini?
I'd assume that's why.
Interessante.
I'd assume that's why. More interesting news from the loot box controversy. Player Unknown Battleground developer publishes loot box drop rates, saying that some ultra rare items will drop once in every 10,000 crates.
Dang.
So it's good to it's really good to actually see that they're starting to take responsibility for this and being a little more transparent about the odds of these things.
Yeah.
Someone did the math and figured out that based on the odds, it'll set you back around $2,000 to get any one certain ultimate ultra rare drop. Anyway, I found that interesting. So Nintendo did a Nintendo Direct.
Oh yeah.
That was really cool.
I had Nintendo Direct Mini, I think, to be exact.
Yeah.
That should tell you the caliber of announcements they had. That's what I thought of.
Right.
Well, there was a couple interesting things. I really liked that they're bringing Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze over to the Switch, because that's actually a really good game that more people need to play.
Yeah, I'm actually quite excited to play that one.
Yeah.
That's
Because
probably
that
my most
premiered
excited.
on the Wii U, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so I never got to play it.
The other piece of news there was that they're doing a Dark Souls remastered.
I could get some of that.
I'm kind of interested in this because I've never played Dark Souls, so I'd like to jump into that shit. They also announced that Hyrule Warriors is coming to the Switch, although I could give two fucks about those kind of games.
Yep.
Have you guys ever played those kind of games, those Dynasty Warrior type games?
I mean, I played
No.
Dynasty Warriors on like PS2, and I loved it back then. But just the thought of it now is like, that is the most repetitive game I think I ever played.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's all it is the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And lastly, the last little bit of news that I actually ran into yesterday was that there is a Kickstarter for what is called the NES Maker. It is a no-coding software that allows you, or no-coding required software that allows you to create NES games. And if you do a bundle high enough, you will also get the hardware to flash it onto an actual cartridge. So I found that to be pretty cool. If you're interested, take a look at our Twitter. The link is on.
Dude, Jeff, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, you fucking scare me, man. Technical difficulties.
Drunk bastard.
You're the host. Fucking carry the show, man.
Sorry.
Did we lose him again? No. Okay.
No, I'm here.
Yeah, we'll pull up this clip and show it to those people and tell them how great we are.
Yeah. So, what do you guys want to start with? Movies or games?
I think we should start with movies as we did last episode.
That sounds like a grand idea. Let's do that.
Who wants to go first?
Jeff should, since he's drunk.
Yeah, I
That's
think so
not
too.
fair.
Well, you're not even fucking saying anything, so...
Movies. Most anticipated. I got it up, and I'm quite excited. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hey, that's too much. I'll cut one out.
Wait,
Just
no.
say it. No, you could say...
Last time you guys said you had way more than 6, and I was like, oh shit, so I added a shit ton more. Now I don't have 6 at all.
Oh. All
Because
right.
you said we were going to do a whole episode of this.
All right, so
stuff.
I put these in order of release date.
Okay.
So the first movie I thought that looked interesting, this movie, jump on and if it's on your list. Annihilation.
Yes.
Damn
it's
it.
on the list.
That's my number one most anticipated.
Okay. It comes out
Spoiler.
February 28th.
Yeah.
Alex Garland. The reason why I'm interested in it is because of Alex Garland, because of Ex Machina. I loved that movie. I thought it was so interesting and had so much like thought-provoking, storytelling to it. So it was really great. Really interested in seeing this next film.
So, interesting thing about it, based on a book that I read probably 2 years ago, and I didn't know they were being made into a movie. Found out Alex Garland was directing it, flipped out, and then shortly thereafter the trailer came out, and the shit looks like super great. The book is like really very surreal, and I'm very confused how they'll even do the entire third act. And it definitely seems like they've made some changes to the story, and it looks a little more scary than the book was, I recall. But like the interesting thing about it is the movie is not getting much promotion now anymore because the studio that is releasing it, which I think is Paramount, they said that the movie was too cerebral and they don't think a normal audience will be able to follow it. And they basically, there's 2 producers on the movie that were fighting, one of which wanted to make changes and alter the ending to make it more palatable for audiences, and the other one that luckily won out wouldn't back down, and they're not changing the movie at all, but they're not getting promoted as much, and so much so across seas it's being released on Netflix and not by Paramount.
Huh. Well, that's some ignorant shit.
Yeah, but it's also awesome that we're getting the movie that they want to make.
Right, exactly.
Because cerebral sci-fi, that's my jam right there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's definitely. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I don't like, and you know, before we do these shows, I always look and see what's coming out, and that one really stood out to me.
Yeah. And you got Natalie Portman. Ooh, ooh.
Yeah, that's definitely a plus.
Speaking of Natalie Portman, no, I'm not going to go there. I'll just globally say I didn't think what she did at the Golden Globes was very nice.
What did she do at the Golden Globes?
They were announcing Best Director, and she made it. No, she basically right before they announced the people that the nominees, she said like the all male nominees, pointing out that there was no females. And I get this, like, okay, maybe there's a serious problem there to talk about, but that makes the people that she's about to read their names, it's basically, hey, these guys don't deserve it, and like they're left like completely left out in the rain.
I don't know.
No, I felt so bad for the guy that won.
Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro, because it cut straight to him, and he's just like, I don't have anything to do with this.
I am sad. We went to bed right before Natalie Portman did. We watched Oprah, and then we pieced out. So, and then as soon as I got into bed, I was scrolling through Twitter. And I was like, oh shit, she did something crazy. That Nat Port. That's what I call her, Nat Port.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a weird thing to do. Anyways, moving on to the next movie I'm looking forward to. Or do you guys want to give one?
Okay.
I'll give one. I'm actually taking my daughter to see an English dub version of it the day after tomorrow. We're going to go see Mary and the Witch's Flower.
Ah, I recommend that movie highly.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see it with her.
And actually, you said you're seeing the English dub, right?
Correct.
We had the guy who localized and was in charge of the dub come to the studio and talk about that whole process.
Oh, that must have been cool.
It was very interesting. I was not really excited for it because, like, what do I care about localization and dubbing stuff? Mm-hmm. But it was like super fascinating, and it actually made me respect English dubs way more than normal. Because usually, I'm a purist and I have to listen to the original just because it always sounds wrong. But like they go to such great lengths to make sure everything matches, like syllable for syllable, and try to keep the dialogue as close as possible unless it's not, and then they have to change stuff up. But it was very
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That is interesting because I never noticed that. I always wondered why, like if you watch a Studio Ghibli film that's been dubbed, why some of the deliveries and the lines were so like over the top and weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that must be why. That's interesting.
And like worth pointing out, at least for anime, unless it's a very special movie, they do all their audio and dialogue after the animation anyway, which is like to us is such a backwards process because we animate to the voice. But even on feature films in Japan, the actors are dubbing their mouths to the open close of the animation. So, like, that alone is like, okay, there's some leeway for me in there.
Well,
anyway.
do you remember when Jeff? Do you remember when Jules Bass came to the studio years ago?
Yeah.
And he was saying how all those original shows were. Basically pre-cut together. The audio was completely pre-cut together in the amount of the time of the actual show and animated to that track, no questions asked. So it was like, that's why it looks kind of weird sometimes. Mm-hmm. Those old like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and stuff. It's always interesting to see because I guess they sent all their animation overseas, like to China or something like that back then.
It shows.
Yeah.
Chinese.
Anyway, go ahead, Michael.
All right. I think I started to put my list in release date, but then I just said fuck it. Mm-hmm. So I'll just go whatever. I know this is on your list, Jeff. We mentioned it last episode. Wes Anderson's new animated flick, Isle of Dogs.
Oh, that's on my next one on the list, March 23rd.
That's my list too.
Perfect.
Like
that's on my list too. I'm really excited about that one.
The trailer alone sold me. I mean, the concept of Wes Anderson back doing stop motion movie sold me, but like literally everything about that trailer is so up my alley. Every framing of every shot and like the colors and the character looks and the acting, it's all fucking so cool.
Movie is gonna make no money, but I don't care. It is gonna be so good.
Yep.
It's definitely gonna be one of those like cult classics for sure.
Yeah, if you're listening to this and have not seen Fantastic Mr. Fox, go back. It is so good.
Yep, it really is.
And plus, it's like, I just really like that Wes Anderson, a really great director, can just bring his style into a different medium of film and do an animated movie 2 times in a row. And they're both like so unique and charming and quirky and cool.
Yeah. And I guess what I have to say about it is, if you're listening and you're on the fence about it, aren't you tired of the same old shit? If you watch one of his films, it's like it's a new, refreshing experience every time.
Yep.
I certainly think so. I know there's a lot of people that can either take or leave Wes Anderson, but certainly his take on animation is very refreshing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he makes the kind of movies that I wish I could make. Like, rough around the edges, but charming, and you can look past the jankiness of it because the story and the characters are so interesting.
I mean, if you look at Fantastic Mr. Fox, one of my favorite moments is because they embrace the shittiness of what they're working with, and that's part of the charm. Is I can't remember, it's been a while since I've seen the movie, but all of a sudden the character is like, oh, I think they even make reference. It was like, oh, you're glowing. And they cut to this like clearly plastic version of the character that's got a light bulb inside it. And it's like, that is fucking funny. That was so good. And it's quirky as hell, and it's supposed to look like crap, but it's so good.
Yep. Good movies coming soon.
Yeah, March 23rd. So 1 week later, just 7 days later, which is crazy timing, Isle of Dogs is going to get just destroyed by this, is Ready Player One.
Oh, really?
What's the release date on that?
March 30th.
Oh, man. That's
third.
That's unfortunate.
I cannot wait to see Ready Player One. It is going to be a flaming trash can, but I cannot wait.
Thank you for acknowledging that. I'm not excited for this movie.
I'm actually, it's on my list too. I think, me personally, I don't. I'm going in with extremely low expectations, so maybe I'll actually enjoy it.
I mean, props to Spielberg though. He comes out with The Post, which looks like the most boring fucking movie in the world, and then after that, he pairs it with like the most fucking insane CG looking movie in the world.
Yeah.
He's a crazy guy, that Spielberg.
He is. We still have a running bet. I can't remember who took which side, but you...
I said that he was going to keep it in the movie.
Okay, and I said no, which was, is he going to make the meta reference to himself, saying that Steve, like in the books, it's referenced that Steven Spielberg didn't make any good movies past the 90s.
I'll be very disappointed if he takes himself that seriously with this movie.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. Yes, we will.
Pete, go.
So let's see. Most have been said, actually. I am interested in seeing Pacific Rim Uprising. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but that's on my list.
Yes.
Say that again, which movie?
Pacific Rim Uprising.
Out.
Why? Are you stupid or what?
Am I stupid? It's Transformers. That's all it is. Big giant robots punching each other. No.
Yeah, but with better staging, so you can see what's happening.
All right.
And better designed mechs.
Yeah.
All right.
And cool monsters known as kaiju.
Because
also,
it makes the movie better that it's like slightly Japanese sounding.
Well, I mean, kaiju is the name of giant monsters in Japanese films, so yes.
So I was right. Sounds vaguely
It doesn't
Japanese-ish.
sound Japanese. It is Japanese.
It's Japanese-ish.
Oh, man. You're on a roll with the Asian stuff tonight, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to cut this one short and move on.
All right. Next movie, Michael?
So, apparently, I wrote down February. I don't know if this is right, but there's a new Cloverfield movie You
I
guys
did see that.
remember last time when 10 Cloverfield Lane just fucking came out of nowhere?
Yeah.
And it was really good. So this one, potentially called God Particle, about like a crew in space, and they encounter some sort of crazy alien and everything goes wrong.
Now, let me ask you a question about Cloverfield. I finally watched all of them.
Yes, Michael, give him some sort of answer.
Over the course
I've
of
got
time. Is it like basically vignettes of like short stories almost? Do you know what I mean? Like, is it like a collection of stories, or are they all tied together somehow?
Well, I think there's a lot of theorizing, and the two movies that have come out have not said yes or no to that. So potentially this one could tie them all together, or just be another random alien invasion type story. But like, I don't know, they've all come out under the guise of Cloverfield, so personally I think they must be tied together somehow.
Yeah.
But I think I've always really dug the way that they've marketed the Cloverfield movies, because the first one was like I remember it as being somewhat of a huge phenomenon.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Because it was
And
like a
then
mystery. It's like, what is this?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And same with not even with the second one. The second one just sort of like appeared in theaters with a trailer maybe like a month beforehand. It's like, how do you even make a Cloverfield movie without anybody knowing about it? And then same thing with this one.
Those spider things still bother me. Like, the fact that they could like blow your head up and shit.
Yeah, that was a good shot with her exploding.
Yeah.
I like that.
Anyhow.
What's next, Jeffrey?
I'm going to go with I'm going to just bust out my superhero movies real quick. The superhero movies that I will allow this year that I want to see: The New Mutants, The Incredibles 2, and Venom.
I was going to say, if you said Black Panther, I would smack you through this microphone.
No.
New Mutants, because it's going to be a rated R horror movie version of like an X-Men, which to me that's like, it's genre bending, and I just want to see how it's done. And it's a horror movie I'll see. How about that, Michael?
Yeah, I'm quite shocked that you even included it on this list.
All right, and Incredibles 2. If that's not
Obviously.
yeah, come on.
Yeah,
That has to be on your list.
that's obviously on the list. Yeah.
And then
Even though I
Venom-
didn't like the
go ahead.
teaser.
I heard through the grapevine that the teaser trailer to Incredibles 2 was rushed through and was basically just hacked together production shots because they basically ran out of time. I guess they're like really behind the gun on that movie.
Well, all right then.
And then Venom, which I'm sure is going to be shit, but it's going to be rated R. It's from Ruben Fleischer from Zombieland, which makes it interesting to me. And then just the fact that it's Spider-Man Venom related means I have to see it. That's just a rule.
And Tom Hardy is in it.
There you go. You have to at least give it a shot. So 3 superhero movies that I'll allow, and there are a lot coming out this year. A lot.
Really?
I'm surprised you didn't include Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
No, I didn't, because I am in the minority. We talked about it like 2 episodes ago.
Oh, that was you?
And
Yeah, that
you
was
two
him.
were up on it, and I just kept my mouth shut. I do not like the way it looks. So
Wow.
When is that movie coming out?
December, I think.
December?
I remember it being really late next year, so don't hold me to it, but I think it was late. Pete, you got any other ones?
Literally, that's everything I have. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was my last one besides Incredibles 2.
Michael?
Right. I have 5 more. How many do you have?
I have 2 more.
All right, I'll run through a few of them.
Okay.
Last episode, Pete said it looked terrible. A Quiet Place. The one where everyone has to be
right.
quiet.
I'm sorry, dude. I still think it looks stupid.
Hey, you know,
You
not
dumbass.
everyone's a home run. Oh, yeah, let's do that. Let's see.
Yeah, maybe I should go make a game or something.
I would also like to point out, Pete, that you said Paddington 2 looks awful, and it's at like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
And who was it? Who was it at work? Tom Roberts at work sent out that he was just taken aback by how good that movie was.
Really?
Genuinely, watch the first one because it's way better than I thought it would be.
I love the first one. The trailer, if it's that good, the trailer didn't make me want to see it.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's really good.
Okay, so I'll run off these next two, which I think are both coming to Netflix. The first is called Mute by Duncan Jones, who made the real shitty Warcraft movie, but he also made Moon back in the day, which is like one of the best sci-fi movies that have come out this century. And Mute, I don't quite remember the premise, but I think it's in the future, and there's like the main character is an assassin who is mute, and the whole movie is dialogue free, and it's basically him like running around doing jobs or something. Sounds pretty dope. Oh, and it could also tie into Moon. Like this is supposed to be the second of a trilogy, I think.
It's going to tie into Moon?
Like the universe of it. I don't know if it'll connect via characters or like the company in that. I don't know.
Huh. That's interesting.
But I mean, it's very easy to do since Moon takes place on the moon the whole time. You have no idea what society is even like back on Earth.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next movie I don't know much about, but just the concept of it looks funny. It's called The Happy Time Murders, and it's basically a dark crime noir with humans, and it's live action, but there's also puppets that are detectives.
Oh, I gotta see that. Okay, I'm gonna write that shit down.
The Happy Time Murders.
Yeah, I know about this movie. Was it like released last year at like a film festival or something like that already? Or I swear I know I heard of, or it was like a Kickstarter. Something made me so I've heard this before.
Maybe. Release date August 17th of this year. I don't know. It doesn't say.
Damn it. Sorry.
When the puppet cast of an 80s children's TV show begins to get murdered one by one, a disgraced LAPD detective turned private eye puppet takes on the case. It
sounds like, all right, someone was like, I really like Roger Rabbit. How can I remake it with puppets?
Yeah, a little
Which
bit.
is great. I don't hold them against. That sounds great.
Oh, there's actually a trailer for it, I think.
All right. Hold back.
Okay, anyway. What else you got, Jeff?
Okay, so I have another kind of like nearly type horror movie, or certainly a thriller that I think I thought you would maybe like as well, Michael, but you were never really here. It actually came out last year for the Cannes Film Festival.
Con.
Oh my God, they keep switching the way you say it, man. Come on.
Okay, fine.
They do. It was Cannes a few years ago. You can hear plenty of people say it that way, and now it's Con. Just fuck off.
So it's kind of like the whole pecan thing, I guess.
I know, and now I fuck up my order at my local coffee shop because I can't decide whether I'm going to say caramel or caramel.
Oh Jesus, I hate caramel.
Oh, that's how I say it. I hate caramel. What are you adding
See?
fucking
It's my
syllables
point.
to things?
So I switch how I say it every day.
Do you say pop?
I used to.
I used to in Colorado.
I will kill you if you say pop.
Yeah, Michael and I both had to break ourselves.
Yeah, soda now.
Yeah. The best retort I've ever heard from that is like, I think it was from Andrew Dice Clay. He's like, look at this fucking bottle. It says club soda, not club pop, you fucking assholes.
You were never really here. Joaquin Phoenix goes around like a badass, basically like he's like a rebel. He's like a Punisher character that takes out people that were like in human trafficking, and he does it on his own. And it's a thriller. He gets clearly caught up in something that he didn't realize it was bigger than him at a certain point, and the trailer is like wow, this is fucking intense. It's really intense. So he won Best Actor at the whatever award thing. The not Cannes. What is it, Michael? God damn it. Con. The Con. It's fucking.
No, it's
that's
directed by a lady.
It's what Kirk says. Like, it's Kirk. That's fucking Star Trek shit. It's Cannes.
Okay, American.
I pay my taxes. It's croissant, okay?
Yeah. I say some stuff that's like, Melbourne. Like, everybody calls it Melbourne, Australia. It's Melbourne. It's Melbourne. Like, Melbourne, Australia.
Why would you say it that way? Have you ever even been there?
Yes.
Oh. So you're like one of those assholes.
Yeah, I'm those assholes. Anyways, this movie is scheduled to be released in the U.S. by Amazon on April 16th. Another
I just watched
movie.
the trailer. It looked interesting, but I didn't have audio, so I don't know.
Okay. Next movie, which I really thought maybe... you guys are probably like, it looks like shit. Alita, Battle Angel. I want to see it.
No, it looks terrible.
Yeah,
Okay.
that creeped me out a little bit.
It's creepy. Robert Rodriguez, no?
I hate every movie that man has ever made.
Okay.
Fucking despise his whole aesthetic.
Cool. All right, moving on. Do we want to move? Oh, you want to run down your last couple?
I have a few more.
Yeah.
Okay. So Damien Chazelle, the guy that just made La La Land, and before that made... Fuck, what was the name of that drummer movie?
I
don't know. Look
it's
it
on
up.
the tip of my tongue.
Beat it harder.
Drumline?
No,
Drumline?
not Drumline.
Drumline.
You said a
Whiplash.
drummer movie?
Whiplash. The intense drummer movie. Anyway, he's got a new movie now called First Man, which is starring Ryan Gosling, and he is Neil Armstrong, and it's about his whole journey to be first dude on the moon.
Ooh, that sounds cool. What is it called?
First Man.
First Man. I'm writing that shit down. See, this is why I love these shows.
Yeah.
And it gives me like all kinds of shit I can look.
You don't have to peruse through the 400,000 best of most anticipated lists that we did.
Yeah.
To try to find.
We all have somewhat similar tastes, I'd say.
Yeah. Somewhat. We like film. Okay.
Yeah.
The last one, there's not a trailer for or anything, but it's literally just because it's directed by Jennifer Kent, who directed The Babadook, which is one of my favorite horror movies the past couple of years. This new movie is called The Nightingale, that is like a revenge story set in 1825 Australia, and it's this woman that I think is just like on a revenge killing spree to kill whoever killed her husband or something, and then she teams up with a bunch of indigenous folk there, and they go on a murder adventure. And
Interesting.
you know, everyone expected her to follow it up, The Babadook, with a horror movie, because that's what most directors are doing now, horror movies to break into the scene, and then they just continue making horror. But she's going completely different direction with it, so that's exciting.
Any others?
That's it.
Wow.
No,
So
none
that
of
was
us
our
mentioned Red Sparrows. I didn't put that on my list, but I keep thinking about it.
Just because you like Jennifer Lawrence.
I do like her, and she plays an assassin whore. That's pretty cool.
That sounds like a bad joke.
I think she does. A Russian assassin whore. Right?
That's an interesting career field.
Yeah, it looks interesting, but I don't know. I'm not super.
I guess assassin work doesn't make much money. Huh?
Well, no, you gotta trick them into the hotel room, so then you can assassinate.
Oh, I see. Okay.
What are you thinking, Michael?
Just assassin by day, hooker by night. Gotta pay the bills. Either way, she's getting liquid on her face.
Yeah.
Oi.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry, everybody. Let's do some anticipated video games.
Yeah,
Everybody's turned it off now.
Just don't tweet that to a YouTuber.
How much did you get on your face, mister? I was going to say his name.
Nah, don't. Just leave it alone.
All right. Anticipated games of 2018. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, somewhere around 9 or 10. I can't count that much.
Oh, wait a minute.
I have 22 because I thought we were doing more.
I had 2 more things I'm interested in for movies.
Pete.
Go.
I'm sorry. You're gonna be surprised by one of these, I think.
I'm gonna think highly of you now.
They're 2 animated movies. One of them is Early Man by Aardman.
All right.
Yep.
The other one surprised me. I thought it was gonna be a huge piece of shit, but from the trailer, I really liked what I saw, and it was Smallfoot.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by it.
Yeah. So anyway, moving on to games. I have 1, 2, 3, 12.
All right. Michael, can you quickly sum up your first 10?
Don't fucking tell me to be quick.
Listen, this show is called Just a Few More Minutes, not Michael continues keep minutesing on. I don't think that's not a
Michael?
verb, but
Michael is the only one that talks about his choices at all, making the podcast unlistenable.
I fucking narrowed mine down. You don't think I could go for fucking 30 games I'd like to play? I can do it.
Okay, fine. First one comes out next month. Shadow of the Colossus HD remake.
Nope.
Second one, Moss. New little cute game on the VR, PSVR.
Yep.
I don't have VR.
I don't have that on my. I don't have that on my list, but I am looking forward to that.
No, it did actually. Just so we can actually talk about it, we mentioned it back on our whatever the game conference, E3.
Right.
It looked great. It was awesome, and you play as like little mouse character. It's fun.
Actually, you don't play as the mouse.
There's a mouse character in there that you get to observe.
Correct. Moving on the Nintendo Switch, Wargroove.
What is that one?
That's the turn-based strategy war game. Right. That's like Advanced Wars, but new.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wargroove.
It certainly looks like it's going to be up a lot of people's alley. Like it does seem like it could be a lot of fun. It's just not for me.
That game definitely looks like something I could sit on.
I absolutely love Advanced Wars, man.
Interesting way to put it, Michael.
Because you said it could go right up a lot of people's alleys, but I thought you were going to say something else.
That is not what I was meaning.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad you can take it.
Yeah, when it's the right fit.
Right.
The next game is already out on Steam, but I've been waiting for Switch. Hollow Knight. It's like the little, almost black and white, looks really well, 2D animated Metroidvania type thing. Made a lot of people's top 10 lists of the year.
Really?
So, yeah. Next one, Owlboy. Another game that's on Steam that I'm waiting for Switch. Can't wait to play that sucker.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Next game, Crossing Souls. Looks like a top-down pixelated Stranger Things with a cool color palette. Next game, Totem Teller. I have no idea what system it's coming for, but it's like a top-down sort of pixely looking thing again, but like it's got a lot of really cool glitch art going on. I found them on Twitter at one point because they update their game dev a lot, and they always just post GIFs of random stuff that they're doing in the world, and it just looks really cool. I like the design of it.
Crossing Souls.
That one was Totem Teller.
Totem Teller, okay.
Yep. Next one. I'm sure this is on Pete's list. Tunic. That little game.
I forgot about Tunic. Son of a bitch. That's coming out this year?
Supposedly.
Yeah, I forgot about Tunic. Damn it.
So I think we all first saw that at E3. It's got that like It looks like an old Zelda, but it's 3D with a cute little fox and a sword. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Number 9 is Ooblets.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yes, that's on my list.
I didn't really think I would like it, and then I got into Stardew Valley, and now it's like, oh shit, this game is Stardew Valley, but with Pokemon.
Yeah. No, it looks really appealing.
What is that coming out for? Is that the Switch?
Right now it's PC, I think.
Yeah.
I was just on their site. Damn it.
I wish it would come out for the Switch. I can't play those games unless they're on that.
Why?
Because they're too time consuming. Like, I'll just never get to it unless I can take it on the go.
Yeah.
I was just there. Damn it.
All right, you look it up.
So it looks like they're looking to release this year. It's coming out for definitely on Steam. I don't see anything else.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll get announced.
It has to. It's way too cute, and
it's
being
it looks published by Double Fine, and they're everywhere.
And it's really polished.
Yeah.
It looks really polished as far as like the designs and everything goes.
Okay, number 10. We're starting to get into the big stuff. Well, and then it goes really small again. Anyway, number 10 is the new God of War.
I can, no offense to Ron Pucciarelli, who actually worked on it, but I'm not like craving to play that game. Maybe it's because I haven't played any of the other ones.
It looks amazing, and that's really the only thing I have against the same thing. I haven't played the other one, so it's not, it's not like flipping my cookie.
No, and I'm more interested in playing it just to see how they've changed it, because I have played the others, and this is like drastically different. This is like God of War if done in the Uncharted or the Last of Us style. So Kratos doesn't even have his chain knife things. He just has an axe now. So already it, like, combat and everything is vastly different, and God of War is known for its combat. So I'm just mostly curious to see how they deal with everything.
Okay.
All right, and that's 10. I have like 10 more, but you guys can go.
Okay. Go ahead, Jeff.
Oh, you have 12, so go ahead, name your first two.
Okay, so my first two, a lot of these are based off of, like, because me and my brother play games together a lot. Some of my favorite games from last year were co-op online PC with him. This one I used to play with him in tabletop version, and I actually kickstarted it when it came out a couple of years ago. Battletech, developed by Harebrained Schemes, who made the Shadowrun Returns games, which is, if you haven't played them, they're really great. And they have the original creator of the tabletop game kind of overseeing everything. So I'm really excited about that one. The other one is a game called that I really don't know much about. I just know that it was developed by 3 former employees of Lionhead Studios, who made one of my favorite PC games of all time, Black and White. They were developed, and their company went on to make Little Big Planet and Tearaway. And this game is called Dreams.
Yep.
By Media Molecule.
Yep.
That's my first two.
Great.
Dreams is on my list too, but only if they announce it for VR.
They really should. That game looks like it needs to be VR,
Yeah, absolutely. And to knock the PSVR, it does not have any specific art program like the Vive and the Oculus do. And I feel like Dreams should, if it gets announced for VR, they should have like a painting thing that you can do in it, as well as like an animation thing. Because I know you can animate in the game, but I want to animate in VR.
That's cool. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll start with my number 10, and I'll start with a game that I would count on neither one of you guys being on your lists, which is Anthem. Comes out in fall for PS4 and Xbox. It's your basic first-person shooter, shoot 'em up type game. And it's really, I just hope it answers how much I miss Halo.
Wait, is it first person? I thought it was third person.
Oh, it is. Sorry, you're right. It's third person, but I'm hope
Okay.
you're right. But yeah, I just hope it answers like basically that feel and nostalgia, and then that gameplay that I'm missing these days. Like Battlefront 2, Star Wars is just not doesn't have it, and Halo 4 and 5 were just goddamn train wrecks. And I just want a new game that I can play with people and shoot people that feels good. So I hope Anthem's it.
Hey, I almost included it on my list specifically because it is third person. Because, like, I'm just not that good at competitive first person games. And this seems like the perfect combination of Destiny with the type of game that I like to play. So I might play with you.
All right. Someone want to name their number 10?
I don't have these listed in any sort
Oh,
of
you're
order.
right. I don't. I'm just naming. I just figure we could go back and forth.
Right. My number 11 or whatever. Next one is Detroit Beyond Human.
Yep, that's on my list. Yeah, I cannot wait. Is it Beyond or Become? Beyond? Beyond Human. Become Human.
I think it's Beyond because
Google
they're well
it.
past human. They're AI, Jeffrey.
I'm always wrong, but I
I'll
would
look
really
it
like
up.
to
Let
be
me see.
right just once.
Yeah. Oh, you're wrong.
Detroit.
You don't have to look it up.
Yeah, it's beyond human, dude.
Is it?
No,
All I
it's,
see is Become. Everywhere it
it's-
says Become.
Actually, I see become as well.
No. Just look up the dang key art.
I'm on the Wikipedia. It says it's Detroit.
Oh shit! It is Become. All right,
It's the only time this will ever happen.
Jeff with his sad, pathetic win. I'll let you have it.
This is it. Oh, 2018, the year Jeff was right once.
2018, the year Jeff will eat 6 more jalapenos.
Speaking of which, I need to do that. I'm sorry, fellas.
Oh yeah, dude, I
Dude, you're
totally
not getting out of
forgot.
that, man. Come on.
I'm not trying to either. I'm sorry.
We gotta
Yeah.
we gotta initiate an additional like little footnote. If you don't own up within a month, it ups up to habanero peppers.
For every episode missed, it goes up by a Scoville.
Well, you can't say that now.
No.
This is the 2018 episode. We're saying everything how it will happen in the future.
Yes, I will definitely do it our next episode. I'm
All
sorry for the delay.
Name a game, Pete.
Okay. Let's see. I played the first one with my brother quite a bit online. This game that I'm looking forward to is called Warhammer Vermintide 2. Really, really beautiful looking first person, sort of Left 4 Dead kind of a game based in the Warhammer universe where you're fighting off humanoid rats that are like swarming a town. And if you're not familiar with the original, it's really worth checking out. And I've seen it on sale for the PS4 quite a bit. It's a really fun game,
I'll look it up.
especially if you're playing with other people.
So this is a Steam PS4 type thing coming out?
It's been on both for a while. I guess they're releasing the second one soon in 2018. So that's what I'm. My other one's an obvious choice: The Last of Us 2.
Yep.
How many do you want me to go through? You want me to go through 2 at a time? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, whatever.
Sure.
All right. Go ahead then, Jeff.
All right. I'm sadly going to put it on my list because now I'm just oddly curious. Mega Man 11.
Oh, Jeff.
I have to check it out. I'm so
I know,
curious.
I know what you mean. There is some sort of responsibility being the people that kind of like have been such a part of this franchise for so long to actually try it and play it
So,
before making any sort of
lesson.
but what if it's good and we just judge it by a shitty trailer?
I'm telling you right now, you're not gonna like it.
I gotta know. I'm so curious that it had to make my most anticipated list. I love Mega Man. I'll start playing Mega Man 3 on this stream. and we'll see what happens with 11. But
You're going to stream the whole fucking thing.
Mega Man 11?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you really
Even
should.
if you hate it.
I made it all the way through Mighty Number 9. That was a piece of shit.
Yeah, all right.
All right, cool. Actually, I'll say one more. This has got to
Okay.
be on your list. Knights and Bikes.
Nope.
It's on my list.
It looks so cool.
That's a debut game for that studio.
Is it really? I didn't know
Foam
that.
Sword Games. Yeah, they did it. They kickstarted it a couple of years ago.
So if I were to say
I'm heavy on the Kickstarter games. That's why I like
all right.
some of the.
It doesn't have really a release date, but it's PS4. It looks like it's a storybook brought to life. It's super charming, and it doesn't look like it's like a heavily like. It looks like it's just a game to kind of explore, and it's not like anxiety ridden or anything like that. So to me, it looks like a mix between Goonies and Paranorman, and mix in maybe a little bit of Stranger Things, and it just looks really charming and fun. So I'm looking forward to it.
It looks like it has the gameplay of Costume Quest.
Mm.
If you played that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, I'm done. I mean, I'm not done, but I'll let someone else talk.
Okay,
All right.
I'll do 3 more.
Okay.
Really briefly. This one, I don't know if it'll actually come out this year, but Ghost of Tsushima, which they just announced at PlayStation Experience. It's the new game from Insomniac, I think, which they've been doing the Infamous games, and now this is like a story set in samurai Japan times, and it looks fucking dope as shit. But I don't actually
Very
think it'll come out
Japanesey.
this year. Oh, geez. Here we go. It looks really cool, and whatever. I'll move on. The next one, you guys remember this from E3? A Way Out.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
The
Way
one-
Out.
The one with the 2 guys basically trying to escape prison together, but it's like a co-op game. The game is built specifically for co-op. I don't even think you can play it by yourself. Online or couch co-op. I'm just really excited to play it with my wife.
My wife.
Then we talked about Last of Us Part 2. Obviously, that should be on everyone's list. Jeff, you need to play the first one or go fuck yourself. And
Can it be?
next, sure. This one comes out very soon, actually, January 25th. That is in less than 10 days. Celeste,
Yeah, that one looks fantastic.
Yeah.
from the guy that brought us Towerfall.
Matt makes games.
Yeah, although I don't think his name is actually Matt.
That's weird.
And also, I was emailing with him a while ago, and I just remembered he was a very, very nice guy. He was very cool. I'm eager to support him, but the game looks fucking great.
That is cool.
So that's what I got.
Yeah, what was that? They had that little like brain trust place over in Canada for a while, and that place shut down, didn't it?
Yeah, there's like a bunch of indie game devs all living in a house together that were just like pushing each other and making great shit. But then I guess everyone moved out.
Yeah. Well, it's good that we get to have Celeste still.
Yeah.
It looks very much like he leveraged off of Towerfall, and it looks fantastic.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, what do you guys have?
I don't know. All right, go PD Pete.
All right, so I have a game by the creators of FTL.
Oh, yeah.
Called Into the Breach.
Yeah.
It's a kind of a isometric turn-based strategy game, a little bit like Advanced Wars, but I guess it's procedural, so it's different every time you play it. I'm not sure as far as like if you maintain or retain any of the stuff you collect, but if it didn't do that, I wouldn't see the point of the game. So I don't know. It looks really cool. Another one is UFO 50 by the devs of Spelunky and Downwell. UFO 50 is a collection of indie games a la Action 52 that indie 8-bit games specifically, and I'm really stoked about that. I think my favorite tweet I saw was somebody's like, "Could you please just make 2 more games?" So it's called UFO 52. Anyway, so apparently the idea is that from what I read about it, It's like different little like Nintendo games essentially, and they made 50 of them, and it's this team of people who shared different job titles throughout. So like if someone was a director of one game, then they switched and then helped out with somebody with their other game, and then the next person would be the director, and then it just sounds like a really cool project to be a part of, and that I definitely want to support.
Yeah.
The other one is The Messenger by Sabotage Studio. It's basically a spiritual successor, I want to say, of Ninja Gaiden, or heavily influenced by Ninja Gaiden. I absolutely love what they're doing with it. It sounds like they're hitting all the right buttons. And one of the things that I read, I put a very extensive interview on Twitter about them interviewing the devs. And one of my favorite things that I read was that the guy said, when we first started this project, it's made by two guys. When we first started this project, we said we are not putting an ounce of art into this until it plays right, until it feels good to play. Mm-hmm. That is something that I think needs to happen more often.
Sure.
So, and I got a few more on here, but I'll let you go next,
One more
Mikey.
thing about that game that I thought was just I can't get it out of my head about, he was talking about like developing games and always needing like, you can do just a remake of Ninja Gaiden, but he's like, how do we take the expectations of the game? Like, people start playing it, you need to set them up like, oh, I know what this game is, and then you have to have that element where you turn it on its head a little bit, enough where people become like interested in where this goes next.
Yeah.
And you listen to the game, and I love the fact that he's like, all right, so yeah, it starts in 8-bit and we're doing like Ninja Gaiden graphics, and then he's like, as you progress as your character, it switches into like a 16-bit game.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
Oh man, that sounds so cool. Like it's like there's the twist, and like how you go back and forth, and you can get to some parts of the level if you switch back to 8-bit, and you have to like constantly switch back to the kind of game style you're playing. It's like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah. That definitely put it over the edge for me, because it's like, okay, it's like a remake of an old game, essentially. But obviously it's different. But once he started talking about making it new and different, I was like, okay, now I'm into it. Now I'm interested.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's really worth reading. It's a really good look into game development, like early game development. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, definitely take a look. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 more. Do you have any more, Mike?
I got 5 more.
All right, so why don't you go ahead with? I'll do 4. You do 4. I do 4, and then you finish it off with.
We're gonna start getting some crossover, so don't worry about it.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay. So this one I'm sure is not on your list, because I didn't even know it existed until I was doing a bunch of research. But there's a new game coming from the guys that made Rogue Legacy called Full Metal Furies, which looks essentially like a new version of Castle Crashers, which I know is right up.
Full Metal Furries.
It's Furies, yes. But like, it looks a lot like Rogue Legacy did. It's got some really nice pixel art. It's like a top-down action-y thing, and it's 4-player co-op, local or online. And it just looks super fun, and it's from the guys that made Rogue Legacy, which is like one of my very favorite games, so I'm very excited for it.
Ooh, man, it has online co-op too.
Yep.
I'm looking at it on Steam right now. That's really cool.
What's the release date?
January 17th.
Oh, that's tomorrow.
Yep.
Dude.
That's actually in 28 minutes.
Damn.
Wow, we're going late, huh?
Yes. This is
okay.
This is not good. I have to wait.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So do I.
Just a few minutes.
Okay. Next one, Days Gone. The new PS4 exclusive that looks like The Last of Us, but not quite as good. It's a zombie game. That's all I have to say about it. I'm leaving Death Stranding for Jeff to talk about.
My note on Death Stranding is, yeah, right. It's not coming out this year.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't think it is either.
but it is on the list. If it comes out, absolutely that's going to be the number one most anticipated game. It's not coming out.
Yeah. And then the next one, besides my final one, is The Last Night.
Yeah.
What's that one?
I want to play that.
That's the 3D pixel one from E3 that looked like Blade Runner, that had lots of cool 3D camera moves through the pixel.
Yeah. And
like insane lighting.
And that director that was like a bigot or something like that?
Yeah, so I almost didn't include it on this list because of all that, but the game just looks so fucking crisp. I want to play it.
That's cool. That's all the ones you have?
I have one final one.
Okay, I'll let you save that one for the very end.
Okay.
So we talked Nights on Bikes. Extinction, I'm interested in playing. Developed by Iron Galaxy, the creators of Killer Instinct and 7 Ways to Die. I don't know if I'm not familiar with 7 Ways to Die, but I wasn't too impressed with Killer Instinct. But the game premise looks interesting enough to where it might be fun to play. It's basically Shadow of the Colossus. The only difference is you're fighting these giant orcs that are attacking your towns. Towns, and you got to defend the towns.
It looks a lot like the Attack on Titan anime, but instead of giant people, it's ogres.
Yeah, exactly. That one, it's for me. That one I put on this list because I'm intrigued. It's not like a must play. My next one, I've been following this guy for a long time. Developed by one dude. I forget his name. It comes out, I want to say, like this week or next week. It's called Iconoclasts. I've been following him. I actually found him on Facebook years ago when he first started working on it. And he kept like putting all these really cool pixel art stuff on this Facebook page from this game that I was like, man, I want to play that. And the game is actually about a mechanical girl named Robin. And for some reason, her hobbies are considered illegal. And you find out why, and then you kind of like, it looks a lot like a side-scrolling platformer, but I want to say a 16-bit version of Cave Story is what it looks like.
Sounds cool.
I'm really stoked about that one. And the last one, which was before I do my last one, there's one more. Mineko's Night Market by Meowza Games. I think this one, me personally, I don't think I would enjoy playing it. But I think it would be a fantastic game for kids. It's super, really cute design. A lot like Ooblets, only more polished. Mm-hmm. But the idea is that you are trying to unlock the secrets of this island that is inhabited entirely by cats. And it's coming out for the PS4 and PC and everything like that. And my very last one, which was a surprise to me, but when I saw it and they announced it, I thought it'd be interesting to revisit, is the Street Fighter II 30th Anniversary Collection. I don't like fighting games, which is interesting why this appeals to me. I remember playing the living shit out of Street Fighter II, and then on a Super Nintendo, and then they came out with so many sequels with so many different names that I got confused and dropped the whole fucking thing. But I remember that having so much fun with just playing through Street Fighter II, trying to beat the characters. Like trying just a single player. And I think this collection will kind of bring it all together in a way that maybe I can understand this time and give me a chance to go through and really introduce myself to these characters that have come out since. Yeah. I don't know. For some reason, that appeals to me. Huh. So
you're a nostalgic boy, Pete.
Yeah, I am. I really am. I don't like things changing. It bothers me. What's your final one, Mikey?
Jeff, do you have any more?
I was just going to quickly mention, definitely got to check out Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I've been waiting what feels like forever for Kingdom Hearts. So Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out.
Yep.
Let's see, was there anything? Oh, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I really can't wait to see that.
Is that what I think it is?
I mean, it's a sequel to Ori and the Blind Forest.
Yeah, that's cool.
That'll be Xbox exclusive. And then
it's not going to be a PC?
Oh, it'll be PC. I mean, I assume anything Xbox will be PC. And then Lightfall is just an interesting, definitely Limbo-inspired game that I'd be interested in checking out in March. So, that's it.
All right, and then my final one, I think, will apply to everybody. I don't think it'll come out this year, but one can hope. New Pokemon game on the Switch.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool?
I know that there's rumblings about it.
Yeah, they have been talking about.
Yeah, they did announce that they're working on it. I highly doubt it'll come out this year, but come on, wouldn't that be fucking cool? A full-fledged 3D Pokemon with better graphics.
That would be good. That would be good. I'm kind of a late bloomer to the whole Pokemon gaming thing. But when I started playing it, I think I started playing it a few years ago on the 3DS, and I had so much fun just walking around this town and like talking to people and figuring out the whole world. You know what I mean?
Hey guys, I'm like almost level 39 on Pokemon Go.
Oh my God, who cares?
Well, here's an interesting thing that I actually have a legitimate gripe with, and I did tweet the company about this. They announced that they're going to stop supporting iPhone 5s for Pokemon. Now that might not mean a lot to us, the guys who are young professionals or guys with disposable income, but to the kids that maybe have hand-me-down phones that are a real big part of their fan base, whether they realize it or not. Every kid I fucking know plays that game. That is gonna that's gonna have a big impact.
Huh.
Yeah.
And it's really too bad. Like, my kids have played it since launch, and they have iPhone 5s, and they're my old phones, my wife's old phones. And now I have to be like, well, you're going to have to use my phone to play it. You can't play it on your phone anymore. Because they decided not to support it. And I don't know. It really pissed me off.
Yeah, it's lame. And I think in general, everything that Apple does now is lame. And how they don't support older things and forcibly make you upgrade, and then everyone else follows suit.
And you know what's interesting? Because here's something that happened to me recently. My wife wanted the iPhone X, the iPhone 10 or whatever it is. So we were researching that, and we went into the store, and she ordered hers, and I was looking at Androids, and I wanted to switch over. I told them, I said, look, I'm tired of the bullshit. I'm tired of being held by my balls. And they said that, well, you have an ecosystem with your family now, that since all your family has an iPhone, whether you realize it or not, if you change that, you're going to have to change everybody. Fuck. That completely sucks, but it's true. Like,
yep.
The whole texting and everything like that is all like iMessage. My kids don't have LTE going to each of their phones. They go through Wi-Fi. So everything, iMessage, all that, I would lose out on everything. Which is such bullshit.
Yep.
And the iPhone X is $1,000. I'm not even joking. It's a fucking $1,000. It's like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
How did it get to this point? Oh, that's why I guess I'm nostalgic.
Yeah.
Did we finish?
We finished.
I think we did. It's 11:30 and we finished.
You can smoke a cigarette now.
Yeah.
I do want to point out, I have been doodling something this whole episode that if you want to see what I doodled, follow me on Instagram at Mujaba, I think. Maybe it's Berardini. I don't know.
That'll work.
Why don't you put it on Twitter? Or are you?
Because then I don't get new followers on Instagram.
Oh, I see. Why don't you put it on both?
Yeah, I will.
Right.
Oh, you know what? I found one at the
Christ.
very bottom of my list. And this one has been on my most anticipated list for 4 years.
Okay.
Chasm.
Oh, man,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Uh-huh.
When the hell is that game coming out, man?
No.
Probably never.
Yep. Anyway.
All right.
All right.
Let's wrap this baby up. This has been a long episode.
Yes, it
And
has.
for some of us, we recorded some parts multiple times. God damn it.
That's
All right.
okay.
Yeah, it happens. I hope there's not an echo in this, and I didn't really check the audio settings.
I don't hear anything.
Yeah. Now.
Yeah. Then you record it's like blah 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 blah.
All right. Well, this has been just a few more minutes podcast where 3 veterans of the animation and video game industry talk about exactly that, animation and video games.
That is correct. I really gotta pee. I've been drinking beer this whole time.
Okay.
Did you
then,
forget how to outro the show?
yeah, Pete, hit the music.
Okay. Good night, fellas.
Good night.
Bye.